Offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Jai Sai Ram. Today, I am humbled to be able to introduce our guest speaker. Jagadeesan Uncle, or Uncle Jaga as he is lovingly called, is joining us all the way from Malaysia. Swami came into Uncle Jaga's life when he was 32 years old, prior to which he was agnostic. In fact, he says he was anti-Swami, anti-Baba. He was subsequently, though, as we all know, when Swami has us in his hands, the founding president of the Satya Sai Central Council of Malaysia and remains an advisor. He is also the interfaith coordinator of the Public Outreach Committee within the Satya Sai International Organization. Uncle Jaga has authored around 15 books and has composed over 2,000 Sai bhajans in Tamil and English, most recognizably of which is Why Fear When I Am Here. We will also all be familiar with his powerful voice from the Jyoti meditation recording used across many Sai centers in the UK. Uncle Jaga has been involved in many service projects, both at home in Malaysia and internationally. And today, we shall get the pleasure of hearing about a couple of these projects. Now, by profession, he has worked for the Malaysian government as a director of investment, which has involved breaking the back of unemployment in Malaysia and abroad, which no doubt is a service in itself. Today, he will be addressing us on the topic of Sai Seva and the miracles of Sai devotion, sharing his journey undertaking service. We welcome Uncle Jaga today. Sairam.
Sairam, 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 Sairam. Well, very, very happy. Thank you, our MC. Very eloquently presented. And I'm very happy to join. This is the first time I'm doing for UK. This is Zoom. I've done for America and for Middle East and many other countries. I'm very happy to do this in UK now. So the subject, why I'm choosing the miraculous Sai devotion. Normally, when in the past, when I have these sessions, I show a lot of pictures of Swami's miracles happening in homes, where vibhuti coming and kumkum and honey flowing, some incredible stuff, okay? But I realized that many of these things happening in UK already, so I'm not going to talk about that. Now, with all these new devotees coming in to the Sai movement, now we find that many of them, even many of the old devotees, have no direct experience with Swami, especially the miracles of Swami, not in his presence. A lot of miracles happen in his presence. But can we invoke Swami to manifest his miracles not in his presence? That would be something that now, because of Swami's Mahasamadhi, he has sort of universalized the miracle. Anyone can contact. Those days, only those guys sitting on the veranda can have contact with Swami. Now we can contact him anywhere. We just plug into the cosmic circuit and we can get Swami coming through to us. So today I shall share with you this particular miracle of Sai devotion. Swami says, my miracles are my visiting cards, okay? Like a businessman, we show a visiting card to show we are there. And that is the miracle that Swami has shown. And which is the physical miracles, okay? The vibhuti coming and kumkum coming and words being written in front of the altar, the visiting cards, okay? In simple words, he manifests a miracle, okay? That's what we call a miracle. For him, it's not a miracle. It's my divine Leela, he says. No, for you, it's a miracle, he says, okay? Swami often says that miracles are for nidarshana. That means establishing divinity, nidarshana. So that's what he does. Then, and not for pradarshana. Pradarshana, exhibition. So those guys who do on stages, the magicians and all, they do for exhibition. But Swami says, I do my miracles to establish that, to convince you about the force of divinity. I myself is a product of Nidarshana. I was an anti Sai Baba, and a miracle happened once. I went to my auntie's house where there were Baba devotees, and I challenged him. And said, Swami, if you're really God, show me a sign. And Vibhuti came on the picture immediately. So that was a classic Nidarshana. Okay, and from that onwards, my life changed. He points out the role of a miracle in the overall scheme of his plan. He's got a plan. First is called Chamatkar. Chamatkar is a stunning thing. Wow, it happened with a wow. What happened? This is something. How did it happen? Then we understand Chamatkar. Then come Sanskar. Once he stuns you, like he did me, by showing the Vibhuti coming in the when I challenged him, Vibhuti came. Show. If you really are who you are, show me a miracle. I'll believe. Vibhuti came, and that stunned me. Then my process started changing. Okay, I realized there's a power beyond science, and come the process of Sanskar, the refinement of my own thinking, my own personality. I began to change, and after that became Prapokar. Prapokar means self. Then once we are stunned and life began to change. What is his teaching? What he wants us to do? Then we move into Prapokar, selfless service. We go into many thousands of devotees now who otherwise would not be involved in any service activities except for their own selves. Okay, now doing selfless, not self-service but selfless service. And now finally we have Sakshatkar, which is the ultimate vision of the divine. Not that he'll come to us, with Changa Chakra, okay? The vision of the divine comes in different ways, by experiences, by what we see from others, many ways it comes. So today we're going to share some of that. He attracts us through the miracles, refines our hearts and minds with his teachings, prods us along the path of selfless service, which leads us to self-realization. Okay, this is the process that many of us are getting into. The visiting cards of the Divine Doctor come in many varieties and colors. Okay, all of you have seen this. The list is endless, but I would like to share a few of others and mine too. Okay, other things. Self-realization. Swami says, we are the divine Atma, the river and the wave merging with the ocean. We don't realize it. Okay, we think, how can I be? Many people say, how can I be God? How can I be divine? I feel so inferior. I feel so many mistakes. Now we are the divine Atma, the river and the wave. We merge with the ocean, realizing Tattvam Asi Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvam Asi Aham Brahmasmi are one of the two of the Mahavakyas that come in the Vedas. You know the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda. Tattvam Asi is the first line of one of the Vedas. Then Aham Brahmasmi is the other one. I am God. So the Vedas establish the highest teaching is you are divine. Now rest of the Vedas is about teaching us how to be divine. Okay. So miracles. In Malaysia, I'm going to show you something happened in Malaysia, which could be interesting to you. There's a center called Sri Mura Center. On the 23rd of November 2014, when they're having Bhajan Bhav's birthday, a picture was taken. And all of you can see now, somehow none of them saw this doing the bhajan, but Baba's form was captured, in the, you can see the form of Swami captured that. That stunned everybody. But no one could see it during the bhajan, because if they had seen it during the bhajan, the whole bhajan would have been disrupted. This came in the film after the bhajan. Okay. Then another one here. This is taken in Medan, Indonesia. They were having the EHV training program in Indonesia. They had hired a photographer to take pictures. And suddenly the chairman of the center saw the photographer shaking his camera and trying to look at something wrong with the camera. A tablet, okay? And Samsung tablet too it was. And so they asked him what's happening. So he said, look, there's a strange thing. I don't know what this thing is doing here. And when the chairman of this center looked at it, and he saw this particular phenomenon. There in that camera, there was this light. You see, they say the devas are light people, okay? And here we have a light vision, a vision of Swami. And during the background of this, while this thing, the song, and some of you who have been, any of you here been to the first World Youth Conference? If you had been there, you would have heard this song. Trudni. We had the big march past with all the flags coming in, okay? And I was the coordinator for this first World Youth Conference, and we had the song called "Truth Needs a Hero, Truth Needs a Friend, Truth Needs Someone Who Can Say I am your hero, I am your friend." So that's the song that I sang, and that song was playing in the background, okay? The theme of the 1997 World Youth Conference. So let me share with you on the miracle of Sai devotion now. I'm moving from this, okay? Here are some amazing miracles that will actually stun you. My humble beginning with Baba also started with metallization. I told you, I challenged him in my auntie's house, who was a devotee, and then the Vibhuti came, and then that's my journey started, okay? So now there's a song that changed my life. Now I'm moving forward, okay, the thing a bit. So after I became involved in Swami in 1976, 4 months later, I was in India, and Swami immediately called me for interview. And in the interview, I was very interesting. The first interview I had with Swami, only both of us were alone, okay? And I was standing in front of him, and he was standing in front of me, and I put my hand. Whole interview, we were both standing. Then I said, Swami, in Malaysia, I sing a song to you for pictures. Can I sing a song directly in front of you? I said. He smiled and said, no, don't sing now. You come in the afternoon. You bring all the other Malaysians with you, then you can sing, he said. So then I asked him, Swami, I don't know any other Malaysian. Every time I go there after that, Swami has told me how many Malaysians are in the crowd. He'll always ask me how many Malaysians are in the group. This time, when I told him I don't know any, he said, no, there are 32 Malaysians outside. You bring them in. So anyway, we found them and how they came in. So now we're having the interview, okay, with about 30. I think not all 32 turned up. Maybe 28. Okay, quite crowded, but not too bad. So then they were all, then Baba turned to me and said, then he told me, Jagdish, I want you to go back to Malaysia. I want you to be the president of the Sevadal. Now, dear devotees, that time I was 32 years old. I didn't know what is. See, this Sevadal is a North Indian expression. South Indian guys don't know these words, okay? And neither did I. So I said, Swami, I mean, I thought he's the president of Sevadal. I thought he's asking me the president of the organization. I said, Swami, I'm very young, Swami. Please tell me elder. No, no, no. Nowadays in Malaysia, all these people are only singing. Exact expression on his face. They're only singing. Tell them, do seva, he said. Then I'm thinking to myself, that time I was director of investment in the Ministry of Industry, okay? And I'm very busy for whole day I'm in office, and like evenings I have cocktail dinners, meeting ambassadors, meeting heads of corporations. My life was full. I had no time for anything else. So I told Swami, I got no time, Swami. I said, too busy. Then he smiled and he turned away. Then he asked me to sing the song. Remember, he promised me to sing the song after he sing. Now, I'm going to sing the song to you now. It's a song in Tamil. So don't panic. This is I got translation for the song there. And this is a song that I sang to him, okay? Now I shall sing to you the song without instrumentation. Of course, when I sang in front of Swami, no instruments also. I just sang. Now, of course, while I'm singing now, no one can talk, okay? So everybody is giving Swami pictures and books for him to say, oh, signing, so many, okay? And I'm singing. This is a song I went, okay? Watch the words now. I'm going to give the translation also. Bhagavan unnai தேடுகின்றேன். Oh Lord, I search for you. இறைவா உன்னை வேண்டுகிறேன். Oh Lord, I yearn for you. வேண்டுகோள் ஒன்று ஏங்குகிறேன். One request I yearn from you. உன் அருள் வேண்டும் நாடுகிறேன். I yearn for your grace, okay? That's the first verse. Second verse goes like this. Bhagavan, Bhagavan, Bhagavan. Sai Baba unnai. This is a very significant verse, okay? Sai Baba unnai கேட்கின்றேன். கேட்கின்றேன் means I'm asking you. கேட்டதை நீயும் கொடுப்பாயோ. Will you give me what I asked for? உன் அருள் வேண்டும் ஏங்குகின்றேன். I yearn for your grace. இறைவா நீ இங்கு வருவாயோ. Will you God come in front of me? Will you come in front of me, Bhagavan? That's the meaning of this. So now I'm singing out this song, no instrumentations, and no one could talk while I'm singing. So this is going on. பகவான் உன்னை தேடுகின்றேன். இறைவா உன்னை வேண்டுகிறேன். வேண்டுகோள் உண்டு ஏங்குகிறேன் உன் அருள் வேண்டும் நாடுகிறேன் பகவான் 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 சாய்பாபா உன்னை கேட்கின்றேன் கேட்டதை நீயும் கொடுப்பாயோ உன் அருள் வேண்டும் ஏங்குகிறேன் இறைவா நீ இங்கு வருவாயோ இறைவா நீ இங்கு வருவாயோ கம் டு மீ இறைவா நீ இங்கு வருவாயோ இறைவா நீ இங்கு வருவாயோ பகவான் பகவான் பகவான். Now that's a song. Okay, now what the miracle here in this song is this: when I came to the second verse and I'm singing, meantime Baba is busily signing away pictures and books. Okay, no one is speaking. Then while I'm speaking a song, my voice began to, I'm getting very excited. So voice began to go louder and louder. He said, shh, quietly, quietly. Outside will hear, he said, okay. So I had to soften my voice a bit. Now, this part now. Sai Baba unnai ketkinren. So I'm asking you, கேட்டதை நீயும் கொடுப்பாயோ, will you give me? Baba is signing, he stopped signing and turned to me and said, Kodupan, Kodupan, I'll give, he said, okay. That stunned me. Okay, when he said it's like a picture, no, bhajan is singing the God in the pictures answers you. Un arul vendum yenguகின்றேன். I yearn for your grace. இறைவா நீ இங்கு வருவாயோ. And he replies again, turns and says, Varuvan, I'll come. Dear devotee, this song which I sang in front of him, and he gave this like a joke. He said this word, no, Kodupan, I'll give you, I'll come. Was not a joke. Okay, whatever the avatar says becomes reality. So I shall share with you now what happened with this song. Okay, many miracles happen not when I normal sing bhajans. Okay, normal bhajan nothing happens. When I'm yearning to, I'm singing this song for some objective, some event, some which is greater than my personal life, something for universe or helping the people. Then miracles happen. So now I'm going to share with you, this is a message for all the youngsters listening to this, okay? People think, why should I give so much time to all the seva I'm doing? How won't it not affect my work? Will it not affect my work, okay? How will I do my work if all this I'm so busy doing all the seva? Now, it's a dramatic verse from the Bhagavad Gita, and Baba has mentioned this a number of times, okay? So remember, everybody, keep this verse very close to your heart, okay? Take a picture of this. If you've got a camera, take a picture of this verse. It says, and some of you may already know this verse. Ananya Sintayanto Mam Yajana Paryupasate Tesham Yukta Abyuktanam Yoga Shemam Vahamyam. Tesham Nityam Abyuktanam Yoga Shemam Vahamyam. Beautiful verse. What's the meaning of this verse? Now, Swami used to talk about this verse, especially the words Yoga Shemam. He used to mention this in his speeches, okay? Of course, when we read Baba's speeches, listen, we just come across Sanskrit word, we just keep it on and go there. So I was doing that for a long time. I said, why is he repeating this so many times? So let me see what it means. So I examine what's the meaning of Yoga Shemam. I'm not a Sanskrit scholar at all. And what's the meaning? And then I realized this is the actual meaning of the verse. Whosoever among my devotees, listen to this very carefully, dear devotees. Whosoever among my devotees dedicates all acts to me with no other thoughts, whosoever meditates on me, serves me, worships me, remembers me, I know that I am always with him, ever providing for him in this world and the next. I bear the burden of his yoga shemam vahamyaham. That's a very powerful word. What's the meaning of yoga shemam, dear devotees? The meaning of yoga shemam is this. In fact, every person who goes to a temple, church, sai center, mosque, wherever, they only go for yoga shemam. That is, yoga shemam means whatever you have in life, I will preserve for you. Whatever you need in life, I will give you. This is a divine assurance coming from Krishna's time during the battle of Kurukshetra, as he assured Arjuna, whatever you have in life, I will preserve for you. whatever you have, and I will give you. Yoga Shema. Devotees, all people who go to temple, churches, mosques, whatever you are, that's the only thing they want. They want Yoga Shema. Oh Lord, without saying the words, they mean, oh Lord, whatever I have in life, please preserve for me. Whatever I want in life, please give me. That's what they want. But everybody wants it. But everybody forgets the precondition that Krishna has put and Baba has emphasized again. Whosoever among my devotees dedicates all acts to me, no other thought, dedicate yourself to me, do my work, do my work, and then I will look after your yoga. That means he wants us to become part of his team, he part of his army, his divine army, to help him fulfill dharma samstapana in this world. Okay, and if we do that, then up to the commander of the army to feed the army, the commander going to battle. When Rama took all his battle field to go and fight what in this what in Sri Lanka. I'm sure the big army he had to feed them. So likewise, Swami has to feed and give his army of people who are supporting his divine mission everything that they need in life, so that they will be comfortable and they can help them in this journey, this great battle of dharma samstapana. Okay, so this is, remember this, yoga shema. In fact, in Malaysia, I fed from the early days. I talked of the Sai Center people. You remember yoga shema, and I myself tried to fulfill my life with this yoga shema. Okay, dedicate myself, do his work, do his work, do his work. So now I shall tell you two incidents that happened, dramatic incidents that happened outside. See, the many incidents happen in Swami's presence. In his interview room, many of you would have seen him metalize things, this and the other. Metalize, some of them, he's so many beautiful things. But to have his manifestation happening not in his divine presence, when you desperately need his help, then, so I'm going to tell you two stories, okay? One happened in Africa, Zimbabwe. The other happened in North Korea. Let me start with the Zimbabwean adventure. Now, when I was in Zimbabwe, my mission in Zimbabwe was relatively simple. I was supposed, since I was the originator and one of the founding members of the Malaysian Investment Center in MIDA, it's called Malaysian Industrial Development Authority. I started one of the key people who started MIDA, and we became really a powerful agency, bringing in investments from around the world. We created a real the economic miracle of Malaysia was done by a team of us. Okay, we transformed Malaysia from a country full of unemployment and become one of the leading countries exporting semiconductors. Okay, so but I'm Zimbabwe. That's why the UN asked me to go to, or Commonwealth Secretary at London asked me to go to Zimbabwe and set up a Zimbabwe investment center. So I went there and I was really treated like a super VIP. They gave me a nice bungalow house, servant, car, driver, everything. Okay. And I was sent to UNDP set up an investment center. The contract was for 4 months. Now, before I left, many people instilled a lot of fear in me, in Africa. Jaga, wow, you're going there, Jaga, you Africans are going to spear you, lion is going to kill you. But so I went there with a lot of trepidation. But when I reached Zimbabwe, that time Mugabe was still there, but he was not so bad as he became later. But I was really treated like a super VIP, and Zimbabwe was a real jewel. Okay, and this is my story of Swami's Yoga Shema in Zimbabwe. Now, when I was in Zimbabwe, I was the founding member of I told you of the center in Malaysia. So I thought I would just duplicate the Malaysian experience, but it wasn't to be, because the conditions was totally different in Africa, in Zimbabwe. So I had to redo my strategy and implement a very powerful center there in Zimbabwe. In Harare, while I'm Harare, at first I was looking for Sai devotees. I found 2 or 3 or 4 of them sitting in a small garage singing bhajans. Okay, one of the most boring bhajans. They'll sing they'll all clap and sing, and 4 of them says, I'll join them. I think, what kind of, no wonder this hall is empty. No one will come and listen to all this. Okay. So I began to start plunging myself into Sai activities. Every evening, I'll go and join the bhajan. I'll go to the Hindu temple there and start singing bhajans there. And I launched medical camps. I launched talks on Hinduism. A lot of things I began to do. So this began to attract a lot of people. This Jagadeesan's okay. He seems to sing okay. He seems to be no about the religion. So the crowd began to fill up the halls, and it started with 4 members in the garage until the garage became full again. So initially, no Africans were involved. That became later. After my toward the end of my 4 month stay, the Africans started coming in, and then they saw the miracle of Sai devotion. So my involvement with witch doctors, I had a tremendous adventure with the witch doctors. Okay, that will be another story altogether. Okay, the witch doctors, actually the name witch doctors is a name given by the Westerners to the African people. Because they do all this, they are actually healers. Healers and spirit people. They invoke. They go into trance and they invoke what divinity and get advice. And one day, perhaps another time, if there's interest, I'll share the incredible experience I encountered with African witch doctors. They are called Nyangas. Nyangas. For the time being, let me focus on the central bank story. What happened there? How Swami came into my life and rescued me from a fantastic mission. Okay, there's a unique assignment that's given to me by the central bank governor. He told me, Jagadeesan, we're having a big problem with the foreign exchange rules. So, one of you, some of you may remember that Zimbabwe in the early days was under Ian Smith, and the world sanctioned Zimbabwe, and therefore they had a lot of restrictions to trading. So they blocked the money going because they're afraid that if the money could go out freely, all money were taken out. So they blocked the people marketing. So they didn't want to block it totally. So they created a lot of rules and regulations. The money will go here and get stuck there, go there and get stuck there. So unless you know somebody personally, the minister or someone, normal people, though they are not banned, they could not take money out. So a lot of restrictions were put there. Okay. Now I am a development economist, not a central banker. So I don't know anything about foreign exchange rules. So then when the governor told me, Jaga, can you sort out this problem we're having? I said, Governor, I'm not a central bank. If I'll get some expert from Central Bank Malaysia to come help you. No, no, I faith in you. You do it. So I went back home that day and I had a bath and I had a nice room to myself with Baba's altar there. And I sat in front of the altar and I closed my eyes and went to meditation. I said, Swami, please help me, Swami. I didn't know where to start because for me to change the rules and regulations of the Zimbabwean foreign exchange situation, I must go and read up all the books there, read up the rules, regulations of the foreign exchange there. What are the foreign exchange rules in other countries? How do I overcome that? I had to do all that kind of nonsense, okay? And I was not equipped for that kind of thing. Anyway, the government central bank gave me the challenge, okay? So I had to go and do this. So I sat in the evening I sat the evening in my room and I began to think, Swami, what can I do? I closed my eyes in meditation and I began to empty my mind. And Swami, please help me. All I wanted was, Swami, how do I start this program? I was not looking for a solution. I mean, the solution up to me to find out. Okay, so how do I start? Where do I start this massive journey of unwinding this big problem of the foreign exchange? Where meanwhile, World Bank experts have come and they could not help them. All kinds of experts have come, and no one. This governor is telling me, Jaya, can you solve it? Okay, so I just prayed. I'm not an economist. I'm not a central banker. Okay, I'm a development economist. But Swami came in. How did he come in? So as I closed my eyes and went into meditation, emptying my mind. Swami, how, Swami, how, Swami, how, help me, Swami, how to. Suddenly, dear devotee, now this is something, suspend your belief, okay? In my mind, a screen came there, like a film screen, film screen. Not a TV screen, more like a film screen. And then suddenly words began to be written on the screen. Words began to be written on the screen. It is like I couldn't understand what the words. They just abstract words began to come in. One word pop here, one word pop here, one word pop here. Then as I began to focus on what Swami, what is this Swami? Suddenly the words began to come into sentences. And dear devotees, sentences began to come into words, okay? Sentence came one by one sentence by sentence. Very clear this time. I could see the sentences. And as I read the sentences, I realized, oh my God, I'm being given now the solution to the Zimbabwean foreign exchange problem. The solution I was reading now in front of me, the solution of the Zimbabwean foreign exchange problem, something I had no knowledge of, no experience in my life, and here it's coming in front of me. So I think I sat down there for more than half an hour reading, just reading what's in front of me. So when I finished, I got up with a start. Oh my God, that's a solution. So I grabbed at that time, no what laptops, nothing, There were odd laptop, but I didn't have any laptop there. 19, what 19 what 70, huh? 1991, 1991. I didn't have any laptop there. Neither was I well versed in any laptop at that time. And so I sat on a piece of paper, I took sheets of paper and started writing down whatever had come to my mind. And then I wrote, I think about 10, 15, 20 pages. Then next morning I got up, I said, my God, this is it. So I went and gave it to a typist. The central bank had given me a typist, okay? And the typist said, please type this and give it to me this evening. So she typed out and gave it to me that evening. I went through it the whole evening. Next day, I polished it up. And on the fourth or fifth day, I went to the governor, central bank. Governor, here you are. He got stunned. Cheka, you finished it? I said, yeah. How? How do you finish so fast? He said. But don't forget, he expected me to read all the foreign exchange rules, regulations, nothing of Zimbabwe to sort out this. I said, Governor, I already told you that I am not a central banker. I can get experts from Malaysia, central bank experts from Malaysia to come and guide you. I'm a development economist, so I've given my ideas. If you think it's okay, it's okay. If not, take it. I can ask Malaysian central bank experts to come in. So then he said, okay, let me ask my staff. So he about 2 days later he called a meeting of all his staff. In Zimbabwe at the time, the central bank, they had both African people as well as white people. White and Africans were there as staff of the central bank. But these all Zimbabweans, okay. And he said, I still remember the words he said. He gave copies of my paper to everyone and said, I asked Mr. Jagadeesan to give us a solution to this Zimbabwean our foreign exchange problem. And he's given me this paper. I think it's absurd. His exact word is, I got stunned when I said it. I think it's absurd, but let's discuss it and see whether it makes sense. Oh, I said, I think it's ridiculous, something like it's very offensive word he used. So I just kept quiet and smiled, okay. Then start, okay, questions. So by the time everybody had already read the paper, okay. So I said question answers. So they started asking me question. One fellow asked a question based on the paper. Then before I'm halfway explaining, another fellow asked another question. Then halfway through another fellow. So they began to shoot questions at me and I totally confused, okay. I just stop, governor, listen. Hey guys, I told you, I still remember the words. I am just a dumb economist, okay, civil servant. You guys are foreign exchange experts, okay. So don't bully me. I tell you what, Governor, bring me a whiteboard. So they brought in a whiteboard. So I went to the whiteboard and wrote, okay, what's your question, sir? All of you ask questions. So all the questions were put down on the board. Finish? Okay, now I shall answer. Dear devotees, I had to answer all these experts' questions based only on what was given in the document which had come to me in my meditation. That's all. No other knowledge I had. I answered every question. The debate every morning we'll have a session for 2 hours from 10 to 12, I think, something like that. 3, 4 days we discussed. And the fourth day, the governor looked at the paper, he closed the paper and said, okay, that's it. I think that's a solution. He said, I think we got the answer here. We'll present it to the minister. So they presented my paper to the Minister of Finance of Zimbabwe. And dear devotees, that paper became the official policy paper of Zimbabwe, how to solve their foreign exchange crisis that so many other economies from World Bank others could not bring about. This is the Yoga Shema. Because I dedicate myself to Swami's work when I was in Zimbabwe also, and all the work I've done in Malaysia, Swami decided, okay, this is my gift to you. And he gave me this particular solution to a very, very protracted and difficult problem, the Zimbabwean foreign exchange policy. The minister then, 4 months later, they had a budget speech. And in that budget speech, the minister mentioned, the budget speech covered many areas. The minister said, now I come to foreign exchange. We had this, in fact, there are many, many experts in Zimbabwe from foreign experts advising the government on different aspects, okay. But the only person he mentioned in his speech was myself. He said, he didn't mention my name. He said, we have a foreign exchange, we had an expert from Malaysia who came and advised us on our foreign exchange problem, and we have accepted his recommendation, and now we're going to implement it. So, dear devotees, I became a superstar there, All the commercial people began to call me for talks, to brief them how did you get these ideas, all this kind of thing. I couldn't tell them how I got the ideas. Okay, I could only tell them what the ideas were. So that became, and because of that particular thing, the next phase of my work in Africa came, that is in Tanzania, because the news I did in Zimbabwe went to Tanzania. And then after I came back to Malaysia in May, I was asked, the Tanzanian government sent a representative to my office in Malaysia in June, August, September, something next year, 91. And they asked me, Jaga, can you come? They wrote to my prime minister and said, we want this Jagadeesan to come to Tanzania and help us set up the Tanzanian Investment Center. So I went, my chairman asked me, Jaga, what do you do in Zimbabwe in 4 months that another country wants you? I said, there's somebody up there loves me, I said. So that came the Tanzanian miracle. And that I'll tell you another time. It's the Zimbabwean miracle. Tanzanian miracle is fantastic story also. So now, this is true. This is his story, Baba's story. I'm riding on Baba's story. This is his miracle, his this thing, and that made me what I became. This is Yoga Shema. So I'm telling everyone, dedicate yourself to Swami, do his work, and he will look after your life. Okay. Not that every problem he'll solve in our life. There'll be a lot of problems I've had also. Okay. A lot of tragedies happen in my life, but he'll make sure that you're not crushed. You're not crushed by the tragedies. You continue to fulfill your mission in the divine, looking at your family and the mission. So that is one big adventure of this. Dedicate yourself to me, do my work, the Yoga Shema effect. Okay. The second incredible thing that happened in Malaysia was North Korean adventure. What's the North Korean adventure? Sorry, I'm sipping water and I'm popping this sweet into my mouth. Okay, that's to keep my throat wet. Okay. So in 1997, an incident happened. The question we must ask ourselves is this. I ask myself all the time, and you can, listening to this, you will ask yourself, did God really respond to the prayers they did? Or would it happen anyhow? Whatever they did, would it happen anyhow? So you decide, okay. This is the story. Yeah? Some of you may know that in several years ago, the 1997, North Korea was under massive sanction. North Korea is, those of you have not, next time you check a map of North Korea, is a peninsula, but heavy mountains in the middle. Very small area of cultivable land is in the along the coast. And North Korea had been subject to a massive tsunami long before the Indonesian tsunami. North Korea was subject to a massive tsunami. And here's the field, paddy fields. I'm this photograph taken by me. And as far as I can see, paddy fields. They're not lazy people. They cultivate the paddy field, intense cultivation. But the salt water come through about 1 or 3 or 4 yards of high, 4 meters, of massive waves came in and gone into about 5 miles into the country, and destroyed thousands of hectares of agricultural land, because all the areas land got soaked by salt water. What looks like a paddy field here is actually not green, all brown, as though some fire underneath them had burnt. The salt had really destroyed all the paddy fields. North Korea was devastated by famine. And we in Malaysia, as you would have seen also in your papers, and those of you who can remember this, images of starving North Korean children that is featured. Now, of course, the world was quite delighted that North Korea is suffering, because everybody was sanctioning, because America was sanctioning them, everybody was sanctioning them. Not everybody, North Korea was especially, but America was so under sanction. So no help came from the rich nations. So some friends of mine from in Singapore told me, Jaga, can we go and help North Korea? Some Chinese side devotees, I said, sure, we'll go and help. We are not political. Baba said, whenever there's somebody needs help, we should go and help. Why should we hesitate? Okay, so let's do that. So let's go and help them. So what we did was, there was a Malaysian embassy, North Korean embassy in Malaysia, and also North Korean embassy in Singapore. So through the embassy, we told them we like to come and help. So they arranged. So what we did was, through my friends who are traders, we arranged for 90 tons of rice to be uh, shipped from Manchuria. From Manchuria. Manchuria, is linked to what to North Korea. From Manchuria, from the port in Manchuria, we arranged for the traders to on board the train 90 tons of rice, and by train they were supposed to come and deliver that rice into Pyongyang. Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea. So then we arranged, five of us. I think the three Chinese devotees and two Indians, or the other way around, whatever it is. So we all flew. We all paid for all expense, by the way. So we had to fly to Beijing, and from Beijing we had to go to Pyongyang. There's no other way. And the first time in my life, I wrote my will. Okay, I wrote my will and gave it to my people. I said, listen, if I don't come back, you open the will. Okay. They said, Jaga, if you're so scared, why you want to go to North Korea if you're going to die? I said, brother, when you help people, you can't question why. We just go like they need help desperately. Okay, children are dying. If you can help, let's help them. Okay, so up to Swami to protect us. So we went to North Korea and we launched a program called SAIRAM. SAIRAM stands for SAI, Social Action Initiative, Relief and Mercy. SAIRAM for North Korea, we launched it. Now this is before, hold on, this was not launched immediately when we sent the 90 tons. We launched it after that. I'll tell you what happened. So then we went to North Korea, and this is what we saw when we went there. We went to one morning, we went by cars, 3 or 4 cars, to a village about few miles from the Pyongyang city, and a coastal village. And there they showed us, the massive destruction. Okay, the whole village was virtually torn to pieces, and all the walls had collapsed. And we could North Korea is very cold country. Okay, already this period now, the winds were coming in. We could feel cold wind coming in. By winter, it's going to be terribly cold. And we saw that what the destruction, and we realize now the massive destruction that was taking. There's some amusing incident that happened. I can share with you. When we reached North Korea, we were greeted in the airport by one person from the president's office. His name was Kim. Everybody's name is Kim there in North Korea. Okay, Kim. So he acted as though he didn't know English. So he had a translator, who was translating, and he will not, and we will speak in English. He'll translate into Korean, and he will speak to us, and they will translate into English. So while that is going on, suddenly halfway through the discussion, I realized this guy was bluffing. I realized he knew English. So I told him, "Hey, Mr. Kim, don't pretend. I think you know English. Okay, you're trying to pretend you don't know English. Okay, I'll tell you what. Listen, Mr. Kim, if you think that halfway through our discussion you're going to leave us and go and leave us alone, and you think that we will talk of some private matters, don't believe. When if you're away from us, conversation will be switched into our Malaysian national language, Malay language. So we won't speak in English. So people won't know. So don't waste time. You better speak to us in English." That guy looked at us unbelieving. No one has ever told him that. Okay? He started laughing. He said, sorry, Mr. Jagadeesan, sorry. Yeah, I speak English, he said. Then we went to, meantime, my friends had also told me, Jaga, watch it. The North Korean floods will monitor you, okay? They'll be watching what you're doing everywhere. So be careful. So they had one huge hotel was there. Now maybe they have more. The one huge hotel was there. We were staying in the hotel. And the rooms are big rooms. I entered this room of mine. And of course, all this we paid by ourselves. They didn't give us any free rides, okay? We went inside. And I saw beside the door, as you enter the room, a big mirror was there, and quite a space between the mirror and the wall and the wall in between. I said, "What is a big mirror doing here?" So I thought maybe they have a camera inside the mirror, monitoring what I'm doing, in the living room. So I decided, okay, in case somebody is watching behind, let me show. So I went in front of the mirror and I bowed, okay, like this. So the guy was stunned. What am I doing? Okay. Anyway, then Mr. Kim also became very close to us. So next day, when I met Kim, I told him, "Mr. Kim, that time I take with me whenever I go. This Malaysia, we got a 3-in-1 coffee, 3-in-1 tea. Okay. Hey, Mr. Kim, come to my room. Let's drink some Malaysian tea." So he said, okay. So he came with us. So as I entered the room, he went and sat in the chair. "Mr. Kim, excuse me, I got to do something." "Yeah, what is it?" Wait. Then I told him, I went to the mirror and I bowed to the mirror like that. He looked at me, "Jaga, what are you doing?" I said, "No, your friends are watching me, so I must give them respect." I say, that guy didn't know how to tolerate us. Like, he was really laughing all the time. Anyhow, So next day I told them, let me go and see this where this disaster. And that's came there. I'm standing with him. He's a young fellow, very senior position in the cabinet. And as we stood amidst the devastation, we realize now that's Kim there. Another tidal wave was approaching. How do I know this? I saw behind there's a roads at the back. Army trucks were coming to this village and other villages by side. I said, hey Kim, why are the army trucks coming? I said, Jaga, we just got word that another big storm is now brewing in the ocean, and there could be another massive tidal wave coming in. So the government doesn't want to take any risk. Okay, so they are sending all the military lorries to take the people away to safety in case the tidal wave comes in. Now the tidal wave, very interesting. North Korea, what happened is the whole coastline of North Korea has a wall all along the way, but it was no way it can be a protective wall, okay, against guns. Okay, I believe the reason for the wall was just to prevent the, because the ocean is coming touching the virtual shore, you know what, so they to keep the waters away, the wall has been built now as a bunk protection against waves. Okay, so we saw the wall, and then they told us what happened when the tidal wave came in. The tidal wave smashed the walls. Okay, and the waves went into 5 kilometers inland and destroyed all things. So that's the reason why now. So they rebuilt the wall by the time we went there. And he said, Jaga, we are taking the people away from this before another thing. So I was standing and you can see the mud around there. No? At least now I'm wearing the shoe. Subsequently, we had to go about half a mile from the wall where the other warehouses were there. And so we took out our shoe and walked barefoot in the mud, okay, to get to the warehouses. All destroyed, all destroyed. So as I'm standing there watching this drama, meantime I had some my friends from Malaysia and Indonesia, Malaysia and Singapore. They had a little 3mm movie camera. They were taking some pictures, pictures of the. So remember, imagine now in the morning you can see what's happening in the background here. When we left the hotel to come to this village, the whole it was raining. The sky was dark. No dark clouds were there, and we cannot see the sun. The rain was playing. By the time we reached the village, it took about 2 hours to get to the village. The rain had subsided to a very slight drizzle. So actually, we're standing in virtually non-drizzle or maybe slight drizzle. That doesn't bother us. Okay, and we're talking with him about the. I'm looking at actually the lorries coming in. You can see what's happening. And as I'm standing there, then we moved towards the wall. The wall. We went about half a mile from the wall, and standing among the ruined the ruins of the warehouses there, I felt a great surge of sympathy from in my heart. Okay, because I realized now, Swami, I said, these poor people, no, they were Buddhists and whatever. But after the war, the American war with them, MacArthur was there. MacArthur was it MacArthur? Yeah, he had made a promise. I'll bomb Pyongyang to the Stone Age. So they were and then they bomb. No, a lot of destruction took place. So these people, whatever religion they had, they lost faith in all religion. The only faith, like Moses, who took his people away from the Egyptian this thing. The only faith they had was, for them the avatar was Kim. From the devastation of the war, of the Korean War, he gave them the pride and they rebuilt the city. So for him, that they're really godlike figure, no question about it. So they have a big statue of him. Then subsequently, his son took over, and now he's a grandson. Okay, the guy who's now the present guy. But his father must have been a very noble fellow. So anyway, we had to go there and we had to put flowers for the father's statue, whatever it is. Anyway, doesn't matter. So now we are now in this particular area now. Remember now, I want you to imagine the scene. A dark cloud, wind is blowing. So we're now we walk towards the area where near the about half a mile from the wall. And I'm standing there and watching, and we could see the ocean up beyond the walls. And I, Swami, is not fair, Swami. These people lost faith in God, Swami. Now this thing is coming. Swami, please, Swami, let them not suffer some more. Please, Swami, stop this. Then something happened to me. I turned and asked Kim, this Mr. Kim, I normally don't do this, okay? But do you mind if I pray to God? Remember, I'm talking about God. These guys don't believe in God, okay? Do you mind if I pray to God and ask Him to stop this tsunami that you're expecting to come? Let Him stop the tsunami and save your people. Can I do that? Kim was stunned, okay? Do what? He said. Now to pray to ask Him God to stop the tsunami. Can I do that? Okay, please, please do, he said. Then he turned and translated to all the villagers standing around us, okay? So he translated into Korean to all the villagers. All the villagers stood there and said, Kamsamsida, Kamsamsida. I mean, thank you very much, thank you very much. You know? They must thought these mad fellows, from Malaysia, they're coming on to let them do what they want. Then I turned and saw one of my friends, the guy was holding a camera, taking a picture. I said, stop. This is not a show, okay? Let us all stand together and pray. So devotees like Pancha Pandavas, 5 of us, 3 Chinese, 2 Indians. We stood in front of the wall. Wall was about half a mile away. And I said, let's pray. Devotees, we pray. Then I spoke. Like a madman, I spoke. And I shouted to the wind, I said, Swami, I said, that time, by the time this incident took place, my late wife, Shanti had passed away about a few months ago, few months ago. And then, Swami, my wife passed away. I said, I'm pointing my finger in the sky. My wife passed away. That's okay, Swami. Basically, I'm telling you, I forgive you for that. And now, Swami, I'm asking you now, let us have this miracle. These people lost faith in God. Swami, let us show the power of divinity, Swami. Let us show the power of faith, Swami. Stop this hurricane, stop this tsunami coming in, and save these people. I shouted to the wind. Okay. Then I turned. My friends all were standing and watching, stunned. I said, line up now. Let's start. Ready, what if we start our prayer? We threw every prayer in the book, Ganapati prayer, Murugan prayer, Devi prayer, Buddhist prayer, Christian prayer. Just in case, whichever God is open at the time, that will hit any of them. So all the prayers we knew in the book, we chanted. And then we finished. And by the time we finished, everybody joining me. My friends were there because the villagers all watching. By the time we finished them, the intense energy was there. I mean, I feel like I was so high, with the thing. So I didn't want to speak anything. I turned and started walking. We had to go back to the city because we had a meeting in the city in a few hours time. So to walk. So I started walking back. Remember, I told you it's all dark. No cloud, no sun, the sky, nothing. Okay. I said, let's go. So I walked. As I'm walking, everybody following me. And suddenly, everybody, I never saw my shadow in the ground. Okay. Suddenly, bam! I could see my shadow on the mud in the mud field, and I looked up, and there, devotees, the clouds had opened up, and a beam of sunlight, was coming through the clouds and falling on all of us. Okay, it's like a dramatic, like a movie scene. Okay, a beam of sunlight is coming and falling on all of us, and my shadow was there. Everybody's shadow was on the floor. I looked at the shadow. I said, "My God, Swami, are you delivering this thing?" Then I told Mr. Kim, can you see? He said, yes. He got totally confused. Okay, huh? He totally confused. He said, "Oh, Jaga, I see." He said. Then I said, then we continued walking back to the car, went back to the city, and we went and slept. And next morning we are leaving Korea from Malaysia. Then what? So then what? So then while I'm standing in the mud, okay, I realized now that we had given them 90 tons of rice, but 90 tons is not adequate to fulfill their needs. Okay, so I asked this Kim fellow, Mr. Kim, I cannot send relief for you from North Korea, from Manchuria every time. You see, so how many tons of relief will you need for you to send a ship from North Korea to Malaysia? If you'll deliver the goods to your ship. So this Kim fellow must have been a very senior fellow, because he looked at me and said, okay, Mr. Jaga, you give us 3,000 tons of relief, we'll send a ship. In that mud field, dear devotees, I spread my hand and said, Swami, okay, Bhagwan Baba will deliver. I said. So we shook hands and we promised them 3,000 tons if the North Koreans sent a ship to us. So all shook hands. We went back to Malaysia the next day. Then Malaysia next day, we checked and saw. The next morning, I checked him. No tidal wave came to the coastal area. So the thing didn't strike. Whether accident or coincidence, I don't know. Anyway, so we came to Malaysia and we launched this program called Sairam for North Korea. copper, really, what is, you won't believe the media went crazy, okay? They could not believe this Matt Middlefield's want to have such a massive program, for North Korea. 3,000 tons. Corporate companies, schools, colleges, kindergarten, temple, churches, everybody responded, okay? People will call us. Now, I need it. Now, watch now. How do you get 3,000 tons? Where do you keep 3,000 tons of relief? Wait, wait. We 3,000 tons relief. I can't keep it now in my house, the size centers. So I had to fall. Luckily, I had some good friends, in the port. We told them, to, I told the other port guys, I got this program for North Korea. Can you give me a free warehouse? My friend said, Jaga, take. You're doing some crazy thing, but we are with you. So they gave us then I need a lorry. We can't send. People start calling us and I got 5 tons of lorry, 5 tons of rice here. This kind of, so, can you send us some lorries? So I talk to my friends again, and they agreed to let me have lorries free. So I got free lorries and free warehouse. Then the mission started. Everybody started donating on left, right, and center. Okay, so we filled up the warehouses. Okay, now one interesting incident happened in between. Okay, suddenly one day while I was doing, I'm in Maida, I'm sitting down in my office doing all this work, same time trying to coordinate this massive relief effort. Okay, 3,000 tons. Okay, I got a call from somebody. Jaga, this is Mr. Captain Ahmad from the Royal Navy. I said, yes. See, our Prime Minister has promised the North Korean government, and how many tons? 90 tons of rice, 90 tons of milk for North Korean children. But now we have applied to the government for the funding to to get the fund for the boats. Okay, because they want to go to cabinet and get the need money for the boats. Okay, pay for the fuel and what have you. But so far, the Ministry of Finance has not replied to us, so we don't know what to do. But understand, you got this Sairam ship. Can you imagine now? Everybody, the Sairam ship is coming from North Korea to you. Can you take our 90 tons with you? I said, sure, I'll take 90 tons. You keep it where you are. The time comes to take, we'll come and collect it from your warehouses. Okay, then agree. Then 2 weeks later, this guy, same fellow, calls me. Yeah, Captain Ahmad is here again. You don't mind, I just want to thank you for agreeing. But now the Treasury has already agreed to give us our funds. So we don't need you to take we will send our own ship. I said, why waste money? Bloody hell, I'm taking this ship. The North Korean ship is coming in. No, it's okay. We'll take. You know what happened? This subject ours now. So in a cabinet meeting, we have a weekly cabinet meets every week. All the papers are submitted where all ministries are involved. So any event, let's say Ministry of Sports is involved, then they will get other ministries to cooperate with them. Okay. So then the as far as this is concerned, only two ministries. One is defense, and the other is foreign affairs. Foreign affairs had to get permission. So this was tabled to cabinet. Next day, I got a call from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Hey, Jaga, you're having this one Sairam ship coming to take goods from Malaysia to North Korea. I said, yes. This defense fellows want to send our own ship. Can you take in your ship, the Sairam ship, this thing to North Korea? I said, sure, we'll take. Well, no problem, I already told them I'll take, but they want to take on their own. No, mind. We will protest. So at the cabinet meeting, this was raised, and the government agreed that let this goods for North Korea go in the Sairam ship to North Korea. That's then really what is when that thing went. Then you know what? Question now is, we promised size name, and the size name we promised 3,000 tons. Okay, my Prime Minister of Malaysia, he promised 90 tons of milk. We promised under size name 3,000 tons. This is the faith we had. But dear devotees, we did not send 3,000 tons. Baba had other plans. You know how much we got finally? 7,000 tons of relief came into our warehouses, and we shipped it to North Korea. So we flew back both of us went back to North Korea again, received the goods from the ship, went on board the ships, and North Korean government bestowed the Order of Friendship Award for the Sai movement of Malaysia for the humanitarian effort. So that award was given. So these are some of the newspapers that gone crazy. Okay. So this Sai movement helped North Koreans. Look at the thing. Something that's so dramatic you couldn't believe. Major relief effort for North Korea. This is a school, one private school. They told Jaga, our children want to donate milk. So we went to the school and picked up all the tins of milk they sent, and went to North Korea. And then this is the day of the pot clang. The pot clang is our Malaysian pot. They put there, about 7,000 tons of food items, winter clothing, and medicine We're heading for North Korea this Saturday to provide relief for 2 million famine victims. The supplies, which are worth more than 10 million ringgit, okay, are being loaded to the North Korean ship, okay, 220,000 tons ship. So I told them, this is, we pledged 3,000, but because of Baba's grace, we managed to get 7,000 tons. That's beyond the pot there. So dear devotees, this is one of the dramatic stories we had, where Swami said, you classic Yogashema, dedicate yourself to do my work. I will look after Yogashema. Dear devotees, so this is the my session. So if we let me conclude by what Swami said, okay, and what we have taken as message from Swami. If religion is to be a way of life, religion should be love, laughter, and joy. God is Satchit Ananda. So eternal truth, eternal consciousness, eternal bliss. So we must experience Him through joy and bliss. Devotees, we cannot be side devotees and be miserable and fighting with each other and causing problems. We must be devoted bhakti, love, namasmaran, sing His name, experience joy when you sing His name. But sing with understanding. One thing why people ask me, Jaga, why you sing Tamil song? I don't understand Hindi, so what's the point of me singing Hindi if I don't understand? So I sing in Tamil and English, okay? So I always, when I sing, I must understand what I'm. Bhajan is just me talking to God. So I must understand what I'm singing. In the Narada Shastra of the Bhagavata, Mahavishnu tells Narada, I abide not in heaven, nor in the hearts of yogis. I dwell where devotees sing my glory. This is what Narada, the Bhagavata Mahavishnu told Narada. But Bhagavan Baba has added something to that, okay? Bhagavan Baba has said that I manifest myself. Bhagavan Baba has said, no, I manifest myself where my work is done. So, bhakti and karma, that's the main thing. Bhakti, devotion, love, and karma, service. That is the main mission. And those of you who know about Christianity, let me share with you one. How much time we got? Okay. Never mind. Okay, I think I'll stop here then. Finish. Okay, my wife says I'll get a little more time. Hey, my dear, how's my timing now? Have I got a few minutes more? I'm asking my coordinator. Diksha, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. How much time have I got? Can I continue a little bit more or should I stop now? If you want to stop now, I stop now. No problem.
I'm sure we can listen to you for another few more minutes, Uncle. We're enjoying you very much.
Okay. All right, go back. So now I'm going to talk about, now I'm ending up with the teachings part of it. So now, Bhagavan Baba has said now, I manifest myself where my work is done. So Vishnu told, Mahavishnu said, no, I manifest my song is sung, the bhakti part of it. And Swami is about karma, so bhakti and karma. Now talk something about Christ again. Something Christ said. There is a verse in the Bible that talks about the how to enter the kingdom of heaven. And I had a fantastic experience of this once in airplane, sitting beside a priest, a Christian priest. I asked him, sir, what does the Bible say about how to enter the kingdom of heaven? He said, no, there are many ways. Okay. I said, no, I'll tell you, sir. There's one way I tell. Let me ask you. I told the priest, no. Yeah, there's a Bible says in one chapter in the Bible, one verse in the Bible says, when the Son of God shall come down with all his glory, he'll divide the nations of the world as a shepherd that divides his flock into goats and sheep. Then he'll tell those on the right, the sheep, come, my children, come and inherit the kingdom of heaven. When I was, watch these words. When I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was sick, you tended to me. When I was lonely, you gave me comfort. Then the children asked, but Lord, when were you hungry and we gave you food? When were you thirsty and we gave you drink? When were you naked and we clothed you? And the Lord will reply, when you did it to the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. Then he'll tell the others, be gone from the kingdom of heaven. When I was hungry, you did not give me food. When I was thirsty, you did not give me drink. When I was naked, did not clothe you. But Lord, when were you hungry? We didn't give you food. The Lord will say, when you did not do it to the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. How to enter the kingdom of heaven? Dear devotees, but Baba has asked every Sai center to do is the formula how he wants us to enter the kingdom of heaven. give food, give liquid, the thirst, quench the thirst of the thirsty, give for clothes to the naked, tend to them when they're sick. Exactly what Sai centers have been asked to do by Bhagavan Baba. So Baba is giving us the key to the kingdom of heaven. So anybody, then the karma, okay, is service, joy and peace to others. So what is loving God? What is the meaning of loving God? Loving God is not just throwing flowers at his picture. Not throwing, not if people chuck flowers at the picture. Love your parents and family. Love your neighbor. Love your religion. Love all religions. Love your environment. Protect the environment. Love those in need. And love yourself. That means treat yourself well. Fill yourself with divine knowledge. Give health. That's a formula for joy. What does joy mean? Easy. Joy says one J. Jagannath. Someone said Jagadeesan. I said, no, don't put Jagadeesan. J Jagannath is good enough. Jagannath. And another divinity, Jesus. Make him the first in our lives. Then, oh, joy. Oh, others. Others, caring for others. Win their love. And once you win the love of others, you win the love of the big J. And yourself, joy. Then you love yourself. Love yourself means what? Not like a idiot looking at the picture, how pretty you are, Love yourself means do things good for yourself. Be healthy, be strong, be knowledgeable. Love yourself. And this is the last, okay? So, devotees, I started and now I finish with how to get joy in our hearts, okay? So, that's a story I share with you today. The story of the miracle of devotion, Yoga Shema. Remember Yoga Shema, okay? Dedicate yourself to me, do my work. I will look after your Yoga Shema. So, with these words, my dear Diksha, I'm through, I think, with this. Before you ask me to stop, okay? So, tell me, what next now? No, I could continue for another half an hour. No, but I mean, I'm worried. I must stop before you ask me to stop.
Thank you so much, Uncle Jaga. We really enjoyed that, and the way you talk and the energy you give, it is so inspiring, and I don't mean that lightly at all. But thank you so much. Your words on just reminding us about dedicating all of our work to him, not to distinguish between my work, his work, this person's work, that person's work. All work is God's work, and if we think that way, there will be a guaranteed success, as you saw.
Yoga Shema.
Exactly, and he will see it through and look after us in every respect when we do and dedicate all work to his. But what was most inspiring was the fearlessness, the perseverance, especially when you went to North Korea, that pure determination and that honest and earnest intention and that fire to want to serve regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the risks. And for me, I think what I will take away is just be crazy, be absolutely crazy, and do what you want to do with full effort, full perseverance, with that dedication, and the fruits of our labors will be seen through by Swami, by God. So thank you so very much for this. We appreciate you joining us in the UK, and I can see on our group chat we all have follow-up questions for you. So no doubt we'll want to have another session on you, perhaps an interactive session with you, so we can ask you questions at a later date. So thank you again, Uncle.